This is today's live on Equa Television International, and we're so glad that you could join us on today's edition of the program. Today, we're talking about the pressure to belong. Of course, we all know that belonging is a fundamental human need, but in today's world, the pressure to belong, whether at the workplace, family, or whatever sector you can think of, is really overwhelming. I mean, the pressure is really tough. So how do you navigate through all of this pressure to fit in, for acceptance and all of that? How do you navigate through it? We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Equa Television International. To join the conversation. My name is Joyce Jakada. I'm not doing this alone. I have Jemima Emmanuel, Prudence Berger, and Sambo Solomon. Good morning.
Good morning, Joyce.
All right, let's talk about the pressure to belong. Like I said, we all know that it is normal, it's a fundamental need for human to want to belong, to want to be accepted. I remember one time I talked about the fact that nobody even wants to be where he's not loved. Nobody wants to stay where they are not accepted. And that is why you have people leaving certain places, leaving certain circles, and all of that. Now we have a lot of associations, like people trying to be members of certain associations. Some will even give you requirement of being members. You have to pay dues, and people want to just join. But we know that this can be very strong and have positive impact. But then, how can you not miss out from your own individuality, your own identity? Because we're talking about the pressure to fit in, the pressure to fit into trends, opinions, to accept certain lifestyle. How do you navigate through all of these things? But before we talk about how to navigate it, what actually is your perspective of this pressure to belong? When you go online, there's pressure to belong. One form of challenge or the other, one trend or the other, different opinions. People are fighting themselves because your opinion is contradicting my opinion. People are expecting that we should all have same opinion. Like in the social circle too, this one is saying, no, my own point is the final. What I say is what you must obey. At the family, at workplace, there's this work culture that you're expected. Once you get employment into certain places, you're expected to follow. Or you hear people say, this is how it has been done here. And so you have to follow it, disregarding your own values, disregarding your own belief, disregarding what you actually stand for. So what do you make? What sense do you make of this pressure to belong?
Living your identity and following what you are not.
Oh.
If you ask me, simply put, just living your identity and then following what you are not, or trying to put yourself. I watched one is a picture. This screwball that we all know, the lamp holder. Then anything screw with the same side can enter. So I saw they screwed an empty soft drink bottle to the lamp holder up in a room like that. So they now write something on it like is it that you can fit. I've forgotten the caption, but is that something like, okay, what they are trying to say is a screw bulb that is supposed to be there, but okay, the caption, because you fit in, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to be there. So yes, the bottle fit in the screw where bulb's supposed to be, but can it give light? Because the whole idea is for the bulb to give light. So you just pressure yourself, living your identity, who you are, and all of that, boils down to you not knowing exactly who you are. Because if you definitely know who you are, then I think you'll be comfortable maintaining your circle. Because to start with, you will even know your circle. You will know your cycle. So it will not be an issue. Exactly. So if you see people doing that, it's just a misplacement of identity.
Okay.
Well, the pressure to belong is there. It's like if you are even different from other people, it's like odd. If you have certain different priorities from other people, they're like looking at you like, who is this person? And so automatically, like you said in your introduction, there is always that wanting to be part of a group or a people. That is why you would hear people go when a Nigerian meets another Nigerian in another country, they're like, my brother, because I want to feel loved, belonging to someone. And so you would ordinarily see that people are always garnering for that kind of I remember having a conversation one time, and I was telling someone, I said, all these places I've been to, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like home. Like I want to, when I enter this place, I want to feel welcomed. It's just part of it. And so if you go to a certain place or you are with a group of people, sometimes you just feel detached from them and you want to be part of them, so you end up doing things. When he mentioned that you compromise your person, is because you want to make them think that this guy, this girl is part of us, she's one of us. And so a lot of times that hunger for me to be part of someone or to be part of some people or to be part of something, it actually tends to tilt more times than not to the negative, because when you're pressured, you're too pressured, at the end of the day you just compromise and say, if I do this, they would welcome me, so what's the big deal about
if you
it?
Can't beat them, join them.
Yes. A songwriter said, all this pressure to be someone that you did not create me to be, right? So this is who I am, but because of how pressured I am to feel belonging to the world, I think that's also I'm quickly going to make this biblical, right? And that is one of the reasons why Jesus had to keep on telling you that you abide in me and I would abide in you, because when you are with me, you are with my Father and all that. He kept telling you that you belong somewhere, because at this moment the world will hate you because they don't understand you, they cannot get you. And so you have to understand that you belong to me. That's why they will say, if you put your hand on the plow, you cannot turn back. In the Hausa, it sounds better. But that's the whole thing about it. You always have this longing to be part of someone or something. And if you don't fully have a stand that, okay, I belong to this, it is easy for you to be swept to and fro. So you have to know yourself, be grounded in like, this is who I am and this is where I belong. A colleague was saying one time that a lot of times she finds herself that she's not easily swayed by what people are saying or what people are doing. Why? Because she understands what fun is to her. She understands what enjoyment means to her. She understands who she is and what she is meant to do. And because she already has that ideology, that mindset, it is not easy for her when people are going this way and she would decide to follow them. No, she wouldn't. The only reason she decides to follow them is because it aligns to all the things that she knows about herself. Yes.
The pressure to belong, I see it in two ways, either internal or external. Because sometimes we are tempted to say people are the one mounting pressure on us, but other times we are the ones mounting pressure on ourselves to belong. So for me, the pressure to belong boils down to motive at the end of the day. Why do you want to belong there? Any other person may not be able to answer your why, but you would be able to answer your why, be it an internal factor or external factor. Why do I want to belong to this group? Why do I want to belong to this organization? Why do I want to belong generally? Deep within you, you have an idea of why you want to belong. probably is not the perfect idea, but the rough sketches, you know why you want to belong. So the pressure to belong boils down to motive.
Wow, that's a powerful nugget. Like, what's your motive? While you all were talking, I was thinking of like I said earlier on, belongingness is a fundamental human need. So where do you draw the line between belongingness, like the need to belong, and the pressure? Like, because if I'm a Christian, for example, and then apart from being a Christian, you also know that in a group, there's also in-group. Now, I'm also an EQUA member. And when I find myself outside of the state that I reside, it's normal that I want to know where's the closest EQUA church, because of the need to belong. So where do you draw the line between the need to belong and then the pressure? Like, what constitutes the pressure of belonging?
Well,
because somebody might be shouting, what's wrong in me identifying with a certain group? What's wrong with me being part of? What's wrong with me doing what other people are doing? So where do you draw the line between the need to belong and then the pressure? What constitutes the pressure?
Okay, let me look at it this way.
This sounds like a final exam question.
It actually sounds like one question my lecturer would have written.
You know, you are a full package. You have the teacher part of it, the lecturer,
but I'll make a good lecturer.
yeah, sure.
Okay. My exam question will be simple to answer.
But
Whoa, no, your exam question will
Simple,
carry
but
a
like
lot
3
in
pages.
one. Yeah, it's like you're going to be answering like 3 things in one
I'm
question.
imagining
So
myself
even if
in
you
our-
have textbook,
I'm
you cannot.
imagining myself in our class.
Don't
I'll
waste
allow
time.
you to come with textbook, but
Exactly. Open exams.
Will the
For
answer be
nothing.
there?
Open exam. See the test, we'll use it. But we'll meet. Okay. We have need, we have want. And we tend to always try to clarify, between needs and want. And then here you're talking about need and you're talking about pressure. The need to belong. For me, I would say if it's a need, that means it's tilting towards the positive. Yes, because I see it a need for me to belong to this group. Joyce, Prudence, and Jemima. Why? The motive she talks about. Because I want to be better. I want to learn. I want to improve. It becomes a need to me. So if you're talking about the internal pressure and the external pressure, it can still be this part of it. Because you can be pressure for the positive. The pressure in me is that I am lacking. That's the internal pressure that warrants the need for me to belong. You see, the internal pressure, because I identify that I'm lacking. And I think me belonging to this group, they will help me. They will guide me. From them, I will learn and I will step up. And then the external pressure is like someone that believes in me, or some people that believes in me and then feel like, see, come on, guy, man, you are lacking. You need to step up. And I think these are the kind of group you should identify with. What would you say? You can still say they are pressurizing, because in pressure, it can be like it's not something that once they tell you and you just jump. It's something that people keep reminding you. People keep, come on, what's up? How far? Were you able to talk to them? Are they willing to accept you, to help you, to teach you? How about when now? Like, you understand? When you're talking about the external. So it can be pressure. Yes, it can be. And then what is coming internal from you? Then you now seeing the need. And then you are like, but what these people are saying, yeah, it makes sense. So I think, let me align. So you see, from the external to the internal, it becomes a need for me to join you guys, for me to identify with you. But what if what you are doing is a wrong thing? And then I am feeling, Kai, I'm together with them, Joyce, Prudence, and Jemima. And then all they talk about is book. All they talk about is English. All they talk about is how to read Bible study, and so on and so forth. And then on Friday, these other guys, like this Valentine that is coming on the 14th. On the 14th, we are talking about, and then you guys are telling us that we have a Bible study for 5 hours, for instance, like how about now? You understand? And then I'll be like, Kai, I think these guys are just chopping me. There's no fun. It's like these guys are really having fun with their lifestyle. And then you begin to pressure yourself internally. And then begin to think that that's where the life is. And then people are telling you, can't you see your life? Nothing is coming. It's just Bible study, reading, this and that and that. Just see your life. Just see your cycle. This is the language out there. And then you begin to think, Kai, once in a while, let me just go. And then you are being pressurized to just go to the negative. So if you ask me, I would say the need can tilt you to the positive. And the pressure, yes, the pressure in the other side can push you to the negative, because you are seeing what you are doing, what other people are doing, you are thinking is the right thing, and then you are pushed towards the negativity.
So when it aligns with your values, with your belief, there's nothing wrong with it. But when it does not align, but because majority are doing it,
yes,
but because it's a trend, that is where the pressure, and it can be negative.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to just quickly say that from what I deduced from what he said and what I know of pressure in itself, pressure is not a bad thing. In fact, the pressure to belong is not a terrible thing, because if you don't even belong somewhere, there's a problem.
You must stand for something.
Exactly. So you have to belong to something or to someone or to somewhere, right? And so that in itself actually makes your identity who you are. That is why when you're filling any document, you're asked what is your nationality, what's your state of origin, because they want to know who you belong to, where you belong to. So to belong in itself and the pressure to belong is not a wrong thing at all. So you just have to understand who you are, what you actually are garnering to belong to, who you want to belong to, what exactly are you belonging to. Because you cannot say that you belong to this group and then you are behaving like the other group. There will be a contrast. So you have to watch that what you are professing is exactly who you are. If you say you belong to the Tangale people, you would behave like a Tangale person. You would act like a Tangale person. If you say you belong to a Christian dom, you would act as a Christian. You would behave as a Christian. You would react as a Christian, right? And if you decide to be a party person, you would always be a party person. You would belong to the party people, right? So you have to know that whatever whatever I'm putting my hands to belong to, I have to be all in. It's like, this is me. It's not so that you would not be tossed to and fro. Why would you say that you want to belong just because other people belong there? We talk about the social media, and I've seen a lot of people doing this, that they will say, oh, I have to jump on this challenge. I've succumbed to the pressure. I have to jump on this challenge. I'll do this because everybody's doing it. Just before the show started, I was asking that. So there was this specific kind of skirts that we kept on wearing in schools. And now we are not feeling comfortable wearing them anymore. Why did we have to? And Jemima was just responding and saying something like, because that was what was in vogue. That was what was reigning. So you did not want to be different, right? But sometimes different is where you belong. Different is not a terrible thing. It's just knowing your person, knowing who you are. So as much as it doesn't seemingly look like everybody belongs to what you belong to or who you belong to or what you believe in, does not mean that what you believe in is entirely wrong. So you also need to understand that when you want to belong, the pressure to belong is that you're putting everything towards attaining that. You find that a journalist would always want to be part of the journalist union, part of book readers club or something that would just brush his and make him a better journalist, right? The same thing a doctor would be in the medical associations and groups and all that, because that is where I belong. That is where I belong as a medical practitioner. So it's a normal thing. The pressure to belong is a very normal thing, but it's just how you take it and what perspective you're looking, what lenses are you looking at it from.
I would like to slightly differ. Because I feel that something that aligns with your value should come natural and it shouldn't come with pressure. My take. Like if it is something that aligns with my value, with my individuality, with my identity, it should not come with pressure. Because pressure to belong has to do with, you just gave an example of skirts. It's not because that's what you want or that's what you desire, but that's what everybody is doing. The pressure to belong has to do with you seeking for acceptance, you conforming, you not wanting to stand out for fear of them leaving you alone. And that's why earlier on I talked about this thing being very tough. Identifying with a group, belonging to a group, like I said, is a fundamental human need. And that is why even in the form, they want to know your nationality, they want to know your identity, because they know it influences who you are. But then when you have to go out of your way, because that's where pressure comes in for me, going out of your way, just doing it not because I want to do it, but because I am expected, I am asked to. In a work environment, for example, you are only pressured to go and sign a document, or you are pressured to do things that does not align to. You hear people say, this work, like the pressure I'm going through, like is affecting me mentally. And anything that comes with pressure has mental impact. It has physical impact and like a lot of other. It's more like it impacts even your own identity. And so why I had to ask that question, because there's need for us to draw the line between belonging, the need to belong, and then pressure. I've seen people personally do or engage in all manner of things because they want to feel among, because they want to be accepted. For fear of rejection, they just align, they just accept to do certain things. Imagine a young lady that works in an organization or in a company sleeping with her boss because of fear of losing her position, or because she wants promotion, but because the boss threatened, if you don't do this with me, I will sack you. You know I employed you. So or imagine an accountant that the boss is saying, you have to assign this document. If not, I'm going to facilitate your sacking. And then the person is doing it, or transfer, not because it aligns with who he is or what he stands for, but okay, so that this thing is like it's a work culture. Let's just do it. People will even tell you, see, if you don't do, you'll be the one that is cheated. Everybody that comes here does this. Everybody that gets this position take their own share of national cake. Why would my identity or my individuality or my values, why should I be pressured? Something that I know I need, but I have to go through I have to be pressured. I have to conform to something that does not align with me. So for me, I think that the need for belonging, is something that you want to just do willingly. It is something that you want to partake in, and that's why when I find myself in another state other than where I am, I like to identify with people that I share the same faith with, people that I share the same values with. And like it comes easy. You talk about somebody in another country seeing another Nigerian in his or her own country. It's possible that they don't even know each other, they don't even relate. But when you see yourself outside, there's this my plateau
brother.
sister, this is my brother. In fact, they will even say, you won't even know that they're from different local government. Take for example, Plateau State has 17 local government, but when they meet outside, my brother, it is only them that knows that it's from Kompan and this person is from Basa.
You will even know they are Igbo and Yoruba.
Do you understand? They are Nigerians. They just identify as Nigerians. So what when it has to do with your values, when it has to do with your identity, it should not come with pressure. So I would like to ask this question, because I know we live in a world, or in today's world, conforming or the pressure to belong is common. Like you always hear it, was there. Like you made the example of, I have finally succumbed to pressure and I'm joining this challenge. You're almost looked as something is wrong with you if you don't do what everybody is doing. It's almost like, I saw a picture of a Nigerian that's school in one of the European countries, and how that the whites had their seat and then his own was really far from. So it's almost difficult for anybody to want that kind of certain. So people just want to align so that we can all be together because of the need for belongingness. But are there impacts to actually the pressure to belong, to like deciding to join the majority at the detriment of your values or your beliefs? Like, are they certain detriment or impact on you as an individual?
Yes, there are. When it comes to major things, probably major decision taking or something that has to do with reputation, history, nobody will want to think of you. Even when you come to mind, people just want to brush it aside. Why? Because you don't have a good reputation when it comes to handling pressures, when it comes to handling this need of belongingness. Because, okay, if everybody is going with a black and I actually want a green, because everybody is going with a black and I don't want the repercussion that comes with picking something else, I go with it. When something serious comes, they will say, okay, all of them are the same. There is no one that is different. So they want to look for the next set of people that they can actually find someone that has authenticity in him. So when it comes to picking you for something that is serious, nobody wants to think of you. Nobody wants to give you a chance, even if you have something better to offer. So that is what comes with this thing. And initially I was going to say that pressure, just from the word, it presses you to do something. But when it comes to need to belong, you see it for yourself and it gives you time. It is not time bound. Even after a year, if you come to your right senses, you will still do the needful. But this pressure is like, if you don't do it now, you will never get this opportunity again. You have to do it. Like, the voices keep echoing in you. Yes, I understand that there are actually people that, you know, they said common sense is no longer common. There are actually people that don't have that common sense to think of what they need and do it. But we're talking about the larger percentage now. The need really stands out. Pressure is almost always tilting towards negative.
All right, what do you make of this situation now? A mother whom her child is sent from school, and the school has been insisting, you have to pay the school fees, and her husband at the moment is incapacitated. And she decided to go and sleep with another man just so that she can raise money to pay the school fees. I've also heard weird stories like women belonging to certain association, and then like rappers are being introduced for certain occasion, and then those women, imagine, even with like, is within the church, a society in the church, they belong to a society in the church, and uniform is being introduced, and then everybody's expected to get it before so program, and then the woman does not have the money or she cannot afford it, and she decides to go and sleep out just so she can raise money to like, what sense do you make of that?
You have no excuse to do the wrong thing. Okay, to do the right thing through the wrong
I don't
thing.
understand the right thing.
Like, okay, no, the right thing I mean is the
Okay, buying
child's
giraffe.
fees
Okay.
that you mentioned. Of course, paying of the child's fees is the right thing
right
you
thing,
need to
yes,
do.
but in
But
the
the
wrong way.
process you used is wrong. I've heard of armed robbers that went to burgle to rob people, and they came and gave tithe in the church. So is it right?
Because I hear some
Because-
people say, you are not in my shoe, you will not
It
understand.
doesn't matter.
So
If
it's-
what
it's-
you
you see,
did is wrong, it is still wrong.
not-
So why didn't you go and look for laborers that were building house, join them to build, earn legitimately, and come to pay for this child's fees? Even if you have to be paying instrumentally, that is the right thing to do. What you did is wrong.
They just
Even
tell you I was
if
pressured.
if you gave your dying child food through sleeping with someone else, it's still a wrong thing.
I want to ask this question, right? Are there not women who went to the market, had conversation with people that sell goods and say, okay, give me these goods on credit. I'll go and sell it. When I sell it, I'll bring back your money, and then the interest on it, we'll share it. Right? That's legitimate. This is a woman that is like deliberate about raising that money, right? Did she do anything wrong?
No.
So exactly why is your case different?
So there's no wrong way to doing the right thing.
No.
Okay.
It has
Sambo
to be
Solomon
the right way.
wanted to say
It has to be the right
Okay.
way.
is it not a way of supporting her husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, is a support, but in a wrong way. Okay, yeah, it's a support. She's rendering support.
A terrible word.
but in
Yes.
a wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to say earlier when you were talking, when you said, is it not? You said she would not. She would not understand, right?
Yes, that I was pressured.
I was pressured. You would not understand. It's not in our place
To understand.
understand.
Thank you
Actually.
very much.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because if I tell you my own, you will not understand. So because I'm quiet doesn't mean I don't have anything to tell you that it will even shock you. This morning we were discussing, as colleagues, and one of us was saying something that he went through from November till now that he's going through, that in fact one of his closest person in the office was even angry that why is he doing now? Do you get the point? So but I just saw how there's a reason why I'm saying this. I just saw how he was able to navigate and then
No, he's
calm himself with what he was going to, because when he was saying, I was just thinking, I said, if I was the one in his shoe, I said, I don't know. I don't even figure out exactly what I would do. To be honest. But I learned something. That means to tell you that we are not in any place to understand with you. The only person that is to understand with you is him that which created you and give you purpose for living. That's the only person that will understand with you. And because he said he will never give you any temptation that is above you, that is why he allows it. So he knows. He is the only one that will help you to navigate that. And there are so many options. What she just said, partnership. But in our own modern world now, what they see as partnership, they will not consider that wretched woman, what she was doing with that businessman as partnership. It's partnership. It is good. She's selling. She's helping him to sell. And then get whatever she wants
And
to.
moreover, people want something very quick.
Very
This
quick.
process, she said, it's too long.
It's too long.
All right. So can we just quickly outline some of the, like, I want us to really be open to some of the detriments of just belonging, and then how can also an individual navigate? Imagine a young man of just 15 years being sent to a boarding school, and then he's surrounded by people in the hostel that all smoke and take all manner of things, and they are telling him, see, you're not a big boy. Every big boy takes this. Or a young girl that her friends are saying, see, if you want to buy hair, you have to go out in the evening and sleep with this man. If you need to do this, all this money you say I've been spending, this is how I'm getting it. If you want to look good, you have to do this. Or a woman that is in a circle of friends that everybody's changing wrappers weekly, and she's been, see, if you don't you are not going to be in this circle, or at the workplace, you are pressured to join an in-group that is detrimental to your own values. Like, so what are some of the consequences, and how can an individual in a world where you are really pressured left, right, and center to belong? You hear a lot of young men that will tell you, see this one, he was my classmate. Today he's a director, he's a this. Look at the car he's driving. A lot of young men have gone into Yahoo because of the pressure. I was in a public transport, and two young guys, they went for this lesson to write WAEC. Apparently they are receipting. And I listened to them quietly, and the other guy was like, hi, this community, Baba, you can't stay there. The pressure there is too much. Like within their age mates, like they were mentioning how one was using an iPhone, was it 13 or what? Imagine people that just finished secondary school without any source of income. So it was like everybody for there, did they show clothes, did they show phones, and so that the pressure is much. In fact, they were even talking about another lesson center. The other one said the reason why I didn't go to that particular one, that is because he even asked the question that the first time he just went to check the place, he entered the class and he asked the question, everybody's looking at, who is this one? You're even asking a question because you should be a big boy now. Why you should? So it was like the lesson is all about show up of dresses, whose teeth pass according to whose teeth pass, who is using the biggest. So that he decided to go and opt for a different lesson center where he knows that, like, he can have an understanding, he can ask question freely, not the one that he's going to be intimidated. So this is how to show you that almost everywhere there are pressure. When you go online now, you are seeing people posting different kind of, you're wondering, see my life, it's like I'm the only one not progressing. So how do you navigate? What are the consequences of belonging, and how do you navigate your way through in a world that is filled with pressure to belong?
All right, so let me quickly start off this way, right? I remember a time, I've mentioned it on this set, that myself and Makeup, we're not friends at all. And there was this time that everybody was talking about, how would you have your birthday and you're not doing makeup and photo shoots and all that? And I said, because that's really not my thing. But then a friend kept on saying, no, this time around we'll do it for you for free. We'll not spend anything. You just try it one time. And I tried it. I went for morning class. Immediately I came back, I wiped it because it made me uncomfortable. So this is one thing about it, right? Because it is pressure that made you to succumb, you would have things like you would be uncomfortable. Sometimes you push yourself against your limit because you want to meet. For that woman who is in that group and they brought rappers and she has to buy, she would lie to her husband. She would end up destroying her relationship with her husband because she's trying to get to buy more rappers, right? She would destroy even her relationship with her children because her children are coming to ask, Mommy, we want this and we want that, and she cannot afford it because she's saving up for rappers, and tomorrow they will see her wearing a new rapper. Already it is causing a rift, right? So one thing about it is that it causes rifts in relationships. It makes you not so sure about yourself. It kills your self-esteem as well. So there are a whole lot of impacts on it, the whole pressure to belong. And anytime you succumb to that pressure and it is not aligning to your priorities, your person and your purpose and your reason for doing anything, at the end of the day, the pressure in itself will birth more pressures.
I like the self-esteem talk that you mentioned. Now we have a lot of celebrities because they are rich, they have the money, going to do surgeries either on their face, their forehead, their cheek, their butts, like changing the part of their body to the shape that they think is acceptable. This is pressure to belong. Something that just started from very, like, not close to us, but today is all around us. We have a lot of people that lost their lives in the process of going to enlarge their bust. So you can just recently this skit maker that you have big nose, you have big nose, you have big nose, and this person decided to go and reshape his nose and just snapping a picture and then dropping it online about his healing process. The same people that said you had big nose are now abusing him, that see how he look like.
The consequence I see is identity crisis. When you constantly want to belong, within
You
the
don't even know
twinkling
who
of
you
an
are.
eye, you belong to 5 different places. That pressure took you in there.
Mm.
You would no longer know who you are,
Yeah.
because you are pressured, you have been pressured, you are pressured, and you will continue to be pressured. So
Both
you
more
will not
precious.
even know who you are anymore. You will no longer have any values, any principle. You will just be like something that the wind is
Tossed by the
tossing
wind.
left, right, center, turning around, and all of that. So you would have a lot of identity crisis, and you would never feel good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I was pressured to belong here. Suddenly, I feel like that place is better. Pressure pushes me to that. You will no longer feel good enough. You would no longer have anything to
Yeah.
offer to anybody. You yourself, you feel empty. So what exactly can you offer?
True.
Sambo Solomon, how do you navigate through in a world that
Okay,
expects
sorry, the
confirmed
way
good?
out. I think you mentioned the way out. The way out is to set boundaries for yourself. Be yourself, be real, be authentic. What do you want to do? Do it, even if thousands of others are doing it. So far, you don't feel you need to be there. You don't need to do that. Do the one you want to do. If it means it's only you that will be standing there, if you are convinced and you know where you are standing is right, please stand there alone, because you would be known for doing the right thing. So just set boundaries. Those pressures are coming to you. Set boundaries, build fence, build thick skin, and just find a way out for yourself.
Absolutely.
Very true. And let me quickly add that before this is the last time I'll say anything.
This is the last time that you'll
Let it
quickly
not be
add.
15 minutes.
All right. So way out, right? You need to know your person. It is not for anything. I don't know the way I would say this. In our own slang, we will say something like, "It is not for nothing. It is not for Gary that you would know who exactly you are." No, you're knowing who you are. You're knowing your identity, your purpose, and you're having a good self-esteem. When people are trumpeting about self-esteem, it's not for anything. It's just so that you would know your person and you would not be tossed to and fro. You would understand where I'm headed at, and you would stay focused. And that's another thing, right? You have to be a very focused person to be able to navigate pressure. I talked about my colleague earlier that said she is not easily influenced by pressure from people, because she knows who she is. She understands what exactly brings her pleasure and what brings her joy, and so she does not pressure herself for any reason just because it will give somebody else pleasure. No, it has to be, at this moment we're talking about you. Focus on yourself, understand your person, know who you are, so that you would not be distracted easily,
Powerful.
because it's really distraction at the end of the day.
True.
Pressure we will all see. Pressure we will all receive as long as we live on this planet Earth that is designed to pressure believers. That's the design. Is to pressure believers. Why did I say that? That is why the Bible talks about do not conform to the pattern of this world. So he knows there's a pressure that will pressurize you to leave your identity in Christ, to pick what you are not. And then he said, for those that persevere, that means there's a pressure somewhere that you need to hold on. You need to keep pushing. You need to keep telling yourself that no, this is my calling, this is who I am, this is my purpose. I am not tilting until I finish this race. You have to know that.
That's powerful.
Again, you have to know that at the end of the day, there's a reward for those who persevere. And again, just try and know that without contentment, pressure
Say that again.
is your humble abode. Without
Honestly.
contentment, pressure is your humble abode.
True.
So try your possible best, be contented, and allow yourself to go through the process. No matter how slow your growth is coming, be patient, be contented, and at the end of it all, there's a greater reward.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a powerful one. That's like an antidote to the pressure to belong. You all mentioned it. Like getting to the point of knowing your purpose, knowing what you stand for, and knowing your identity. I can say there are, pressure to belong revolves around trends, opinions, and lifestyle. There are a lot of things that I know have trended. I never had them. I never joined. Not because I can't afford it, not because I cannot do it, but it does not align with my values, and I have my peace. Like, I've never for once say, oh, I cannot sleep because, and that's one thing that comes with pressure to belong.
It takes away your
It
peace.
takes your peace. So you're thinking, no, it's iPhone 11. You just get it. Another one will come out. You are now pressured to get it. Oh, you think it's bone straight bob. You get it. The next one is you see another inches that will reach like your waist.
Honestly, where's
You want
bone
to
straight
get
right
it.
now?
Restlessness.
Do you understand? And another one will still come out. That is how. So, like, the antidote is contentment. The Bible spoke about that. I mean, if Joseph can actually survive in Egypt and even excel, you can also do it. If Daniel can also survive in Babylon, why not? Like, examples are actually countless.
Massive.
You will always be at the place of peace if you know who you are, you know what you stand for. And sometimes even at the workplace, it can really be overwhelming and tough. So what do? Always ask God for open doors. If this is not where I belong, God, can you open doors for me? Can you lead me in the right direction? Because sometimes you see yourself at workplace, though you need a pay to meet certain needs, but you see that you are pressured to conform to things that does not align to your belief. So always seek God's guidance in your decision, in your choices, and I'm sure he will definitely help you through. Thank you for this great discussion.
Pleasure.
And like we all establish, the pressure to actually belong is actually a reality, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your value, your individuality, and even your mental health. Do well to join us tomorrow as we talk about relationship. Have a great day. Bye-bye.